Welcome back to High Ground TV, live from Beyond the Summit here in LA. MVP Phoenix versus First Departure. Our next matchup. MVP are on a tear right now.
Yep.
5-2. Second place, all theirs. Well, not all theirs, but second place for now. They're not really tied with anyone. Mythtrust is 5-3, so they're right behind them. Orange Esports 4-3. That's our top four. Scythe still alive, still winning. Hanging on for dear life. Same with First Departure, 3-4.
Yep.
So pretty even matchup. We would have thought maybe coming into this, maybe even a slight advantage for First Departure. But MVP Phoenix are on a tear through this tournament, and they have beaten Mythtrust, Scythe, Zephyr, as well as Orange and one other team, which this part is not updated yet. But they have only lost to Arrow and RRQ. So they're playing really well.
They're playing really well. And when we had started the beginning of these qualifiers, and we were judging and trying to decide on who we felt was the top positions, the mid and the low tier, we were scoffing at the idea of maybe MVP Phoenix doing really well. I mean, there's always that constant stigma against a lot of the Korean players that they just don't match up to all their other brothers in the Malaysian, Singaporean, even the Philippine, scene. But MVP Phoenix, man, they're proving them wrong. They're doing some serious work, and I think a lot of us are starting to slowly begin to root for them, especially after the fall of Zephyr kind of not being able to get into the mix as much as they'd like. I mean, MVP Phoenix are right there, and they're doing a really awesome job. And I mean, we'll see if they can keep the streak going. I think they're on a 4-game win streak right now, and now they're going to look to go against First Departure, which we just had the opportunity of casting. They beat out RRQ, who beat MVP Phoenix. So this could be a pretty even matchup.
Yeah, well, let's pop into the draft here and see. God damn it, dude. That's the 5th time today I fucked up.
I mean, at least the mic's not muted, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. You're making me second guess everything now, but whatever. Finally, we'll get into the draft and underway, and I was seeing the beginning of how they're going to start this one out. MVP strike first by banning out the Doom, which has been a heavy favorite with a lot of these teams, and I would imagine also with First Departure. And they managed to sneak through the Bat Rider, get it up for themselves, which is always a nice top priority pickup. But First Departure shoot right back with the Tidehunter Dazzle. So it looks like we might see another Defa off-lane Tidehunter.
I think they're going to pick the Faceless Void right here.
You think you're going to do another Faceless Void?
Okay, well, Morphling is similar. A little bit different, but still very similar in terms of the way that you play him.
Yeah.
But they've started out with the first 3 picks that they had from the last game, so it looks like they're looking to be on a similar playing field.
Yeah.
And I really like the way their draft worked out last time. And Morphling sort of slides into that same slot as Faceless Void. It's a little bit different because he's not as concentrated around team fights, but he still gives you a ton of damage in the mid game. So I think it's a good pick here. I like it a lot. Yeah. And well, it's gonna be going against the Bat Rider, the Treant, as well as the Rubik.
Yeah, a lot of lockdown already coming out from MVP Phoenix, so they can decide to play at least mildly aggressively. Greg is currently dying. We did set that. Oh, wow, unbelievable. Okay, buddy, you want some of my water?
No, I think we're good.
Oh my God, we stepped downstairs and had a bit of Indian food, and apparently Greg is just not having any of it.
I'll be right.
Okay, Greg's gonna step out. That's fine. Take a moment to breathe, buddy. Rip. Okay, but as the draft continues, you can see MVP Phoenix. Unbelievable. Greg's sloppiness is rubbing off on me, but Templar Assassin now going to be the 4th grab up for Phoenix here. Strong, powerful woman who don't need no man, can do a really awesome job in that mid lane with her heavy hitting damage. Should work very nicely, but we'll see what First Departure want to decide to counter back with for their 5th and final grab, because I would imagine that this is obviously going to be chains on the Morphling, running more safe lane style. First Departure have been doing more of a 4 protect 1 kind of a thing, and they also favor a very strong team fight, and we might, we'll see it again. Sand King and Tidehunter hand in hand. It worked very nicely before. They made it all work, and well, for their mid lane, last time, they went with the DK. He's still available and in the pool. It was a really strong factor, even who I would consider the MVP of the last go-around. What do you think, Greg, now that you're back from nearly dying? Do you think that Dragon Knight's going to be a prominent pickup here for First Departure?
It could work. It's not great against TA.
That's true.
It's okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But you can't really win that lane because of refraction, so you don't have a good way to get rid of the charges.
So maybe a Brewmaster, maybe? It's still available in the pool. We saw it, but I don't think they...
Fuck it.
Oh, fuck it, boys. We're going to go with this pretty much a near same lineup as we did last time. I think they're all the same, with the exception of Morphling. Yeah. Last time they wanted to go Faceless Void, but this time they're going to go with the Morphling. I mean, obviously I can't properly think back, but maybe at the last draft they didn't have access to the Morphling. It was banned out, but
I don't remember.
Here we go. I mean, it worked last time. Let's make it happen again. And wow, March. Picking up Death Prophet. I haven't seen this hero in quite a while. That's a strong pushing force in its own right.
I seem to remember March playing this before.
Okay.
As a safe lane, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look.
Greg looking up the stats on this one here, but I would imagine as far as lane go, if you feel like that's going to be a safe lane Death Prophet, probably accompanied with the Rubik and the Treant Protector, obviously the Bat Rider going to be in the off lane. He's played it a lot?
8 games, and he has a 75% win rate.
Very nice. So, going to feel pretty confident on that here, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it should work pretty well. I mean, it's a pretty fixed game plan for them, and, well, we'll see if it works out as we head into the game here, but I really do like March's choice here. I think the aggressive pushing lineups are going to work well against First Departure, who do need some time to ball up. And the best way to stop a team like that is to put on some pressure so they don't have the opportunity to, and keep them on the back foot by coming online earlier than them. The Death Prophet might give them a chance to do that. Normally you want to wait for level 11 to really get things moving along. So there's a chance they might just be the ones who are getting pushed on and get routed. But let's go over the teams for MVP. It's going to be Ryson on the Rubik for MVP Phoenix. In the back, Heen on the Treant Protector. March going to be picking up the Death Prophet. In the mid lane, QO. He's a pretty new addition to this team, and, well, some people seem to think he's got a little bit of consistency issues, but I've seen him play a bunch, and I think he's got a lot of potential, so we'll see if he can light up this mid lane. Down bottom for Rev, the off laner. He's going to be playing the Bat Rider.
All right, and right up at the top of the lane here for First Departure, we got your Tidebringer. He's going to be playing off lane again. It's Defa, did serious work last go around as the Tidehunter. Mid lane around the area, we got Tomorrowland playing your nearby support Dazzle. For the mid, no surprises. It is going to be Mr. KS on that Dragon Knight. Along bottom, it's Chains, the creep hitting king on your Morphling. And then lingering around here, there he is, Lubby, once again playing your Sand King.
We'll see how this works out. Chains, I think, I'm not sure if you can actually stay in this lane 1v1 against the Bat Rider. I think it's not the worst ever, but I think, again, we're going to see the same thing where they try to gank in the mid lane and try to get off to an early start. Do they have sentries? No. Has QO skilled? Yes. Okay, well, that's not going to be relevant.
Oh, he's got a real nice block going for him. Look at this Templar. Very nice block. It's going to bring it right to the crest of the hill. Perfect positioning at the start here for Templar Assassin. Immediately throws up the shield and happy to try to claim the early CS here in this one, and going to try to look to snowball out of control. I would imagine that the game plan overall might be, Rubik trying to see if he can catch out the DK, but will not be so lucky, even though he had the benefit of that DD, but I would imagine for MVP, they're going to look to go very aggressive early here and not allow this Morphling to get those crucial items he needs before he could be a big factor.
Bottle already done here for QO. Very greedy build. This is sort of 6.8 era, where you just get these 2 branches, get pooled 2 tangos, you get 1 or 2 last hits, your bottle's done. And against a Dragon Knight, it's going to be very effective because he has nothing really he can do to apply pressure early. He relies on those levels to get damage, to get pressure. And there's the point in Dragon's Blood. This is what he's going to try to use along with Bottle Crowing to keep him healthy in this lane. We'll see if it's enough. QO, I think, can probably bully on KS decently easily in this mid lane.
And for that bottom lane, as you can see, Bat Rider, they're trying to zone him out. They don't want to allow him to get any sort of farm. They don't even want him to venture out to the nearby jungle and get any farm from that way. So he's currently actually cutting down all the trees here, just making things a lot easier to see if anything's going to be coming his way. So a little bit of extra awareness for himself, but in the meantime, he's not really getting any CS. Only 1 to his name in the meantime, and constantly, as you can see, Sand King bullying forward and not going to allow him to get close at all.
This is really smart because it makes it so the Sand King can't walk around behind him, and his team doesn't have to invest a ward in it, so they can use it somewhere else, like over here. So I like this quite a bit, and it's going to pretty much make it so I think it's going to be easy for him to get a lot of levels, unless they put a lot in harassing him out of this lane, which, you know, I'm not sure if they're going to be willing to do. So we'll see how Forev does. He's already almost level 3, and, well, Tidehunter are just pretty much in the same area. This is not really a lane that you can easily get kills in with Rubik Death Prophet. You need the Treant around, and he's just not here at the moment.
MVP doing a great job. They call A to the supports here, as Heen earlier scouted out the regen rune, which had popped up at top, and it was quickly picked up by QO. So Templar really controlling this mid lane, pushing forward 8 and 4 CS to Dragonite sitting 6 and 3. So a nice strong start for him as Tree makes his return up here to the top lane, where Defa finding just only a fair bit of CS for himself, 4 and 0. You know, he was holding on pretty strong last go around. As long as he doesn't feed away any unnecessary kills, I would say it might be a bit of a mini victory for him.
Pretty much. I mean, he's just looking not to die. He just wants to get Ravaged as soon as possible. So that's basically where he's at. Tree still hasn't skilled. I like this quite a bit. He doesn't really know what he's going to have to do yet, and it could be a little bit till he gets level 2. March, free farming, as well as the Morphling, but Chain's getting much better denies, and, well, it's time for the Batrider to just retreat to the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about a Batrider, and, you know, part of the big reason why every team wants to get a hold of him first. I mean, he's one of those heroes, you can put him anywhere, and especially if you pick him up first, you could throw him even in the mid lane if you need to, if it's an appropriate matchup, but primarily in that off lane, even if things go very, very sour, you can always forfeit the lane, move into the jungle, and get just as much CS there.
Yeah, and, well, Defa taking a bit of harass in this top lane, but as long as he avoids most of the Crypt Swarms, he should do just fine. Bassie's actually on here for March, so as long as this was a conscious decision, he's going to be looking to bring the pressure to this tower and knock it down as soon as possible.
And for top, you know, Death Prophet now leading the front, 24 and 4 for this March Death Prophet. Very, very nice, and just continuing to push on forward here. I mean, do you imagine that she treats the lane similar to how she would in the mid? She just waits till it gets her level 6 and then maybe considers popping the Exorcism and pushing forward and trying to take this tier 1 early?
Yeah, basically. I mean, you can tell with the ring on like this, she's just looking to get as much damage on the tower as possible. So, continuing to march forward here at the cost of giving Defa some experience, but that's not the worst thing ever if they can get this tower down fairly quickly. And, well, she's even clarityed up here. She wants to spam the Crypt Swarm.
I'm looking at a bit of aggression here, Greg. Moving down from above. They smoke out on the side away from any proper vision. It looks like Rubik might look to lean forward with the help of that telekinesis. But Dragonite in a very nice defensive position, rather, well behind the tower. So if they want to wait for this kill, they're going to be waiting a little bit. But as the creeps get cleared out and as QO pushes forward very, very aggressively, we'll see if the creeps now will help things out. But DK, man, has a Dazzle nearby, but no Grave available on this Dazzle. So if he gets caught out, he will not have that life-saving ability. But yep, ultimately in the end, the Rubik has had enough waiting and might consider pulling back. Nope, he changes his mind, heading right back to the mid lane again.
Yeah, well, the Radiant also know exactly what's going on. They have a ward here.
Mm-hmm.
And NDP have no idea this ward's here. So Trap was even blown, but Cass is in a position where he just knows he's not going to die. And Morphling has picked up Midas, so Chain's... This is what I was talking about yesterday and even the earlier FD game. If Chain gets the farms he wants, it could be trouble for MVP. I mean, he's got 5-minute Midas.
That's a really, really nice start. But, I mean, that's just kind of a given because he's pretty much just going PvE style in this bottom lane ever since the Batrider had to pull back. So, you know, a good start for him. But MVP... not looking to falter too much, still feeling pretty confident in their rush to an early aggressive mid game. And there we go, top lane popping the Exorcism, doing what we expect. March even pushing forward, considering maybe making a go here. And Defa, does he have the Crypt Swarm? He does! Very nice first blood coming out for March, cleaning out the off lane Defa, and maybe looks to consider cleaning out this wave of creeps and then doing some damage on this tower.
Yeah, good play there by March. He's basically the idea with Death Prophet is just to play the Crypt Swarm minigame. If you can land 1 or 2 before you start moving in on them, it's fairly easy. But QO in the mid lane is going to get bursted down. Caught the very tail end of that one. Looks like they had the sentry here for when he melded, so very heads-up gank by First Departure. So they do get a trade, despite the fact they lose their top tower. I think now First Departure need to be careful not to let more towers fall. They know they have a window of opportunity, 70 seconds, but like I was saying, MVP is just going to be looking to continue pressuring here.
Yeah. Got to keep it pressuring, even if it means trying to start taking, you know, tier 2s, you know, maybe seeing if they can deter Chains from committing to the, you know, single one-on-one type of a, you know, farm. And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a brief pause, but I can't help but think maybe Defa was just, you know, a bit out of his element. Maybe he's not so used to kind of going against these kind of a Death Prophet kind of a heroes. I couldn't have worded that any more terribly right there, but... you know, he's not used to going against Death Prophet. Maybe kind of, you know, caught him by surprise. Hopefully that's not the case for the rest of his team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this could work for MVP. Man, what the hell? There's some all chatting going on here. Oh, he's asking for $5 for the pause. Excellent.
Good stuff.
These teams, I think, scrim quite a bit. So,
Okay.
you know, pretty sure all these games are on Singapore server. First departure being from Singapore, MVP going to be looking for practice on that server. So,
Yeah.
pretty sure these teams have scrimmed quite a bit and are familiar with each other. So, it's nothing like some. I mean, we're from NA Dota. We like the all chat. All chat is encouraged.
Oh, please, yes, very nice. Adds things a little more spicy flair to it. Can't hate on that. Of course, it's all in good fun. But now QO back to the lane after that recent fall, looking to try to get something going. Rubik nearby, going to flow it on through, but will not catch the opportunity to catch the DK. And now Defa making his return over to the mid lane. He is level 6. He does have Ravage available and immediately wants to put it to use.
Yeah, this is smart. They're going to try to kill QO here again. He's been farming really well, though. This lane has gone pretty much in his favor, which is not too unexpected. But no, Lubby moving forward here. They tried to get a kill on KS. Unfortunately, another sentry goes down. Dueling sentries. Ravage pop. QO stuck. Rubik going to try to make it out. Does not have spell steal. Only level 3. And, well, QO, there's a lot of heroes following you down. Do they have another sentry? Doesn't look like it. They're actually forced to turn around. Ryson drops the Fade Bolt. And in comes the Dazzle. They get one kill. Are they going to get another return kill? Doesn't look like it.
Fortunately, Dazzle was just not there in time to get that Grave off. Being only level 1, the range is just not as good as it could be. But yeah, look at this, man. March has been relentless in this top lane here. Now looking to go to town on this tier 2. Very, very nice. I mean, you called it out. They want to get the job done right away and just constantly add the pressure. So you may venture elsewhere, Mr. Tidebringer, and use out that Ravage. But March is right here to kind of do work.
Yeah, and this is the idea for MVP. Just manufacture a gold lead that's from killing towers, and oh, Dazzle is he's just so dead.
Well,
and he roamed out into the river, and well, he paid for it.
Very quick Blink Dagger for the Bat Rider, even being in the dire off lane. Good for him. Acquires it right away and immediately puts it to use. And we're going to get another bit of a pause here as they're having communication issues in Skype. But as you saw as well, Death Prophet had picked up the Yules. I love this item on Death Prophet. Move speed, intel, mana regen's all great and all, but even if you get the proper lockdown with the Yules, it sets up a very, very nice silence. And don't forget, Greg, due to that recent patch, it adds 50 damage, which means if you get the Yules out on someone like the Sand King or the Tidebringer who have those Blink Daggers, they won't be able to blink immediately after.
Yeah, I like this change a lot. I mean, it's not a huge... It's not really aimed at these support heroes, but it's certainly a nice little bonus.
Yeah, it's a little perk.
It's pretty nice against Sand King and Tidehunter. They're two very... common blink initiators, but I think the big targets for something like this is like when there's a puck on the other team. That's really nice because he's already so hard to lock down, and well, this Yules gets a little bit better, and already this is a great item on this hero because basically all you're looking to do is hit someone with a Crypt Swarm, run them down, hit them with another Crypt Swarm, run them down, and Yules helps do that.
So we'll see what the next game plan is going to be for March as he took himself all the way back to the base. Now, this top tier 1 tower, or tier 2 tower rather, already very low, about a third life left. I would imagine either he considers A, finishing out the tier 2 tower, or maybe B, just going elsewhere because he's got another mid till Exorcism is available, and he is looking like he's going to venture elsewhere. Now migrating to that bottom lane. Maybe he assists the Bat Rider. Bat Rider gets a little bit of mana available, and at that same time as Exorcism, he should have Lasso ready to go.
And, well, we'll see if Chains is able to really get this game moving along for his team. He is extremely farmed, 60 last hits, a Midas at 9 minutes, but he might just get pushed before he can actually do anything. QO putting damage out here on KS, but KS pops a dragon from Blubby TPing in, and QO, that was just, oh man, that was a feed.
That was really, really quick, and Tidebringer making a move in, obviously. Rubik might be in a bit of trouble here. DK's hungry for this. He wants to take him down. Living Armor will fly out, but ultimately will be caught down with a Burrow Strike and a bit of heal. It's going to be more than enough to take down the little support. So 2-0 in the end, and now with the benefit of that Dragon form, they're going to try to put out some right clicks here and take this tier 1 tower down. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it looks like as March shows up, now with one more second, has Exorcism available. He's going to make the trade, and there you go. Pops out the Exorcism, making it go in. Chains actually waveforms forward. Hopefully doesn't make this a bit of a mistake here. She's hunting him down, going through the woods, but beginning the morph, but there goes the TP, but it will not matter. She should be able to take this tier 1 down, and it might end up being a trade, 1-for-1.
She doesn't care too much about actually killing Chains. She knows without silence there's not really a chance that she's going to be able to do that, so happy to let him leave there with that Yules, and now KS TP's over. It looks like he trapped on the way here, but that tower not going to go down. Not in deny range yet, though.
Well, I thought he was going to be able to get that one, but ultimately could get quite enough right clicks off to take it down. And Well, attention back to the mid lane here. As you can see, Batrider now going into flight. Not quite able to catch anyone out with the lasso just yet, as Defa is here. He does also have the Ravage, so if Batrider tries to make a jump on anyone, on Lubby or what have you, he will be able to have the R button available. Oh, Libby considers blinking forward, but will not be able to catch it. And will they get the deny here? One more auto attack. Get it. There you go. You got it. Defa takes it down and denies MVP from that extra bit of gold.
That's actually just the worst thing ever if you miss a deny to a catapult. This makes you feel so sad.
Yep, I am very, very familiar with that.
Well, March, he's going to get the bottom tier 1. I think he's going to try to get out of here. Maybe news to Yules, Lubby. Oh, Yules is the Morphling, so he's going to get stunned. That's 1 stun down. Is there adaptive strike? No, there's not. And, man, sorry about that. This mouse, the middle wheel is broken, so I skipped a little bit there. We're all good, though.
March makes his escape. No real threat there, but another tower acquired. So very nice for them. That makes all tier 1 towers down now for first departure. And looking at the gold draft, it might be a bit early here, but it is obviously in favor of MVP, just pushing towards that 2,500 gold mark. So a nice strong start from them, which is something we were expecting based on their draft alone. But as we go on, we'll see if first departure can kind of migrate into the late game and on the back of this Morphling.
Yeah, and that's really the name of the game here. How fast can he farm? He's going to be looking for Lincolns. Not sure that's actually... I mean, I guess it's good. I guess you kind of just have to get that against Batrider, but I don't think MVP are going to be waiting too long to actually start ganking him. They're just going to continue pressuring, but first departure finally a little bit of pressure of their own. This is what we're talking about. They're going to ball up, push down the lanes, and it looks like it's going well, but March, he's getting top lane.
At the same time, March is finding his opportunity, actually forces out a couple of TPs and immediately runs away here. No TP available, runs right into Sand King, throws out the Crypt Swarm. There's a Burrow Strike to lock him in place, but you have to be careful. Exorcism is now out. Oh my god, look at Wither down! If he gets the Crypt Swarm off, he'll get Jocked from behind, but it does not matter. Ultimately catches up, and you cannot underestimate the power of the Exorcism.
Bottom lane, QO moving in on Tomorrowland, but nice Shallow Grave TP, going to be enough to get him out of here. Chain's now taking damage. QO trying to get him down. There's all of the strength, more possible, out of mana. He's going to die, looks like, with Midas on off cooldown as well, and that is not good.
Ooh, he took Morph.
Oh, that's like the best
He took Morph, and he's going to be able to morph up his life. Very, very high, sacrificing all of his agility. He's not going for it just yet, but I imagine that'd be the case. And for anyone, I mean, for anyone not knowing what the hell this means is Rubik can now take this morph up all of his agility into strength, and he actually gets the benefit of keeping that even after dying and after losing the skill. Very nice.
Yeah, so it's going to bring him up to like 1,000 HP if he does go for the full morph, and, well, he loses a little bit of attack speed, a little bit of armor, but the HP he gains is completely worth it, and here we go. That's actually way more than 1,000.
Wow, isn't that ridiculous? Some people consider that is the best thing to steal in the game.
It's definitely one of the best. Huge argument to be made for it, and it's extremely good. I mean, it's always good as opposed to some other spells which are situationally good, but I think he's going to be looking for Burrow Strike. He's going to be looking for Ravage from here on out, but Smoke coming in. Mech the choice for the Tidehunter, and not quite done yet. Are they going to commit to this? They need to move forward to
Oh god, the Ravage.
Pops, they know he's here. Are they going to get the last one initiation? They need to be careful here. Oh, this is so low. How can you leave this? They need to initiate. Lasso, KS, he's up on the high ground. He's going to be stuck. Gets the Dragon Tail off. Ravage going out. But the Ghosts, they're going to tear through KS. There's not much he can do. The Epicenter. Ravage stolen by Rubik. Chains. He's going to go down. Lubby's going to go down in this Rubik. Helps turn the fight around here. And oh man, what a bunch of plays from MVP. They just dominated that team fight. That was disgusting. 5-man wipe for nothing. Racing, stealing Ravage. That's the importance of the Rubik.
What is happening? MVP Phoenix are on a tear and showing why they're considered now top 2 in this qualifier. Very nice showing by them, cleaning out everyone, just getting everything perfectly. The Batrider even taking the DK up to the high hill. Unbelievable stuff. Just keeping their cool when it looked like things got very hairy very quickly. And wow.
And that's a huge advantage for MVP. They're going to be able to ride that to easily killing some tier 2 towers, maybe even pushing high ground. And Yasha is going to be the choice for this Templar Assassin. Maybe build this into the Manta. So they're going to definitely be looking to apply pressure here. Pretty indicative of that. And Chains, he's just not farming fast enough. He has 80 CS. He's fallen off quite a bit in terms of where he was about 6 minutes ago, even with that Midas. And he's been ganked. He's 3rd in the net worth. March easily leading the way. Has built a mechanism after the Yules. I like this quite a bit. And it's going to allow these supports to go for more greedier mobility items. Brubek's going to be looking for a Blink Dagger. Man, if he stole Ravage that easily without one, imagine if he gets one.
Yeah, very, very nice. But, you know, with Morphling in the game for first departure here, they're not going to, you know, raise the white flag just yet. They have plenty of time for him to build up the extra farm and try to carry the team on his back. That's what's most important for them. And now Chain's working on the bottom, popping out the Midas, 1,500 gold, trying to build forward towards that Lincoln Sphere. Only like the Ring of Health acquired, now looking to move over. But there it is. You called it. Blink Dagger now picked up on the Rubik would make things very, very nice. And with Ravage acquired here, he's got 35 more seconds, but plenty more time to use it. I would imagine that MVP are going to look to make a fight happen.
And it looks like QO actually is going to be probably going for a BKB next. This is a fine choice as well. It just means that they're going to be interested in just directly fighting 5-on-5 versus first departure. So fine item choice here for QO. And, you know, he's played pretty well this game, but Forev has had some great initiations. And again, they initiate on Chains, who's trying to morph. There's the silence. Unfortunately, he's already morphing. Do they have enough damage to bring him down through this? It looks like they might. Waveforming away. They need a stun. Do they have one? Oh, they used the overgrowth. They have a Yules as well. He's up in the air. And all the morphing will not save you from 4 heroes. 5 heroes even. And I can't count.
Man. They are doing some serious, serious work. We just saw First Departure do a nice, strong performance in the previous game, and MVP are making him look like nothing at the start of this one. Now looking to push on forward. Leading the front is March, and he does have that Exorcism available. So unless they put up a strong defense, this is going to be a very easy Tier 2 tower.
And MVP, I think this is their playstyle. I'm pretty sure this is what I was hearing from the couch. People were just talking about the fact that they were applying pressure, and it definitely seems to be working here. As, well, they easily are going to knock down this Tier 2 tower.
They didn't
even use it, man. They're moving for high ground. They don't care. They're going to trade their Tier 1 for it without a problem. Already they need to be careful how they TP, though. They can very easily get blinked on.
They're going for it, baby. Popped out the Exorcism, pushing up above the stairs and getting in a few right clicks. There goes a fortification, but let's see if they want to commit to this or not. We do have Ravage available. We have a Sand King nearby with his Epicenter available, so they do have to be cautious. Even though, you know, First Departure are down, they have a pretty strong top hill defense.
Yeah, March is doing a really smart thing here and just not overcommitting. I mean, the tower's not dead, but they're putting damage on it. They forced a ton of TPs. They wasted a lot of gold, and First Departure now maybe are looking to go forward. This is very greedy, but looks like they're not going to move forward. If they tried to reinitiate there, it could have been very, very bad. So, well, nice little push there by MVP. They get to Tier 2. They put half damage on this tower, and they'll just revisit that when Exorcism's back up.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing. A lot of these teams who typically like to go more aggressive can get pretty careless, but as we saw right there with the smart call pulling back, it's great to play aggressive, but also to play smart, and look at that. It is not going to be a BKB.
Oh, well.
Templar Assassin going with Powerhouse kind of a build. Picks up the Desolator. Minus armor coming right out for him, looking to rip apart these supports. If he can get the upper hand and quickly take down this Sand King, rip apart this Dazzle, it's going to make things very, very devastating for First Departure.
He's going to have a lot of damage, and Lubby's going to have to be very careful. Even Tidehunter and Dazzle as well. I think Dazzle and Sand King are in 2-shot territory, so they need to be very, very careful. Desolator coupled with the meld, I mean, he's pushing 200 even without the armor reduction. So this is going to be a very, very, very dangerous game for First Departure at this point. They need to be careful with this Templar Assassin, and well, it's a pretty YOLO item choice, to be honest. I mean, it's possible he just dies a couple times because of this, but the potential reward when you pick up the Desolator is quite large.
I'm feeling like at this point for First Departure, they have to consider maybe not going aggressive at all, just kind of waiting things out, being very defensive, holding the high hill, not allowing MVP to get into the base. They might have to sacrifice over this Tier 2 tower, but they need to save time. They need Chains to get the farm and try to get back into this one, but I don't think it's going to happen here. Tier 2 tower taken down like nothing with the help of this Exorcism, and they're going to immediately pull back, probably clean up these Ancients, and man, I don't know. Where do we take it from here for First Departure? Only so much time is going to be available as constantly MVP are not letting up.
They need to just turtle in base and hope that they don't lose, to be honest. KS has a BKB, has not used that yet, so that's going to be a big impact on the next team fight. They still only have level 1 Ravage. They have a mech finished up, and again, this comes down to why are these people so obsessed with building Blink Dagger first? Or mech first, rather. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point it's clear that they're not going to be the ones going for the heavy initiation.
But imagine they're pushing into your tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
You blink on them and Ravage, and then you follow it up with a blink epicenter. You can easily kill them all.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd definitely be nice, but you're also doing that into someone who also has their own mechanism and overgrowth or what have you. So you do have to be a little cautious there. I mean, if you happen to miss out on any of those 2 ultimates, you might as well just be handing over the whole game, because on the back of an exorcism or anything else, your racks will be gone immediately. So you got to make sure that when you make a ballsy attempt at something like that, it's going to be the right time to do it. Because with this heavy, aggressive push strat coming out from MVP, you could just hand over the game in one bad team fight.
Yeah, and the other problem is that the mech's just not very good against Death Prophet, because mech's really good against dealing with things like double ultimate that's done, and if you're alive, you can mech through it, easily going through the fight, but not nearly as good against something like Death Prophet or TA, who just have a lot of really consistent damage in team fights. So we'll see if it works out for them. BOT is purchased up, and this is a farmed Phoenix or a farmed Batrider rather, and we'll see where he goes from here. And this used to be the team that Demon was on, so he has called a lot of these players extremely good. Ryson, he says, is one of the best supports in Korea, but he taking damage here. And he's just been found out. There's another Sentry going down, waveform through. But where I was going with that is Demon likes building Refresher. So are we going to see Refresher next on the Batrider? It's definitely a possibility. You can lasso 2 people and then force away. It's hilarious. And it's actually really good.
I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, I would love to see a Refresher lasso. I think that'd be intriguing enough. But for other Batriders, they feel more safe going with something like maybe a BKB or what have you to prevent all those additional stuns coming in and stopping you from isolating and ripping apart your preferred targets. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. And as we saw right there, Tree trying to gather information, scouting things out, ultimately gets caught out and then quickly take it apart. And now picking up the pieces here, the rest of MVP squad clearing out those wards and having to catch out Tree with the benefit of that gem and quickly step back.
Yeah, they've got a lot of D-wards out of this gem. We've been just seeing them wander around and get a ton, and it looks like they're going to group up and pressure bottom again. It's time for them to finish up what they started.
Look at that. I mean, they're just controlling the whole map, and now, first departure, they're going to be suffocated in the base. Now they got to test how good our high ground defense is going to be, as it looks like they're going to pop out the Exorcism and begin to right-click down this Tier 3, and here we go. Dragon Knight ripping out. Burrow strike forward. They catch out the Dragon Knight in Dragon form and pull him right back with the lasso. There goes an early Shallow Grave, but it might be necessary as it's doing a lot of damage with the help of this Exorcism. Yule's on the self.
Oh my god, Rubik stole it.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Unbelievable play. And now Lubby, Epicenter coming through. Chains trying to wait for him down. KS on the run. March chasing him down. He's got a heart. He's way too tanky. Chains bought a Ghost Scepter, but it's just not even enough to keep him alive. And first departure, it looks like their time is waning here. As we're starting to close out game number 2, MVP looked to be in a great position, heading towards the playoffs. Dominant play. Ryson I can't believe he stole that Ravage, to be honest. It looked like he was going to get an Anchor Smash, but he just proves me wrong. Gets Ravage. The whole time he was very patient. He could have easily got Burrow Strike or something, but he waits for Ravage. And now KS, he's going to go down. There's a Shallow Grave, but that's just delaying the inevitable, and he is going to fall to the Rubik in the end. Now Lubby, that's a 4-man Burrow Strike, but they have no damage to follow it up. Overgrowth use, and now he's up in the air. Jaffa running back. Down he goes, and this just looks over. There's a 4-staff on the ground, and KS is going to call GG. First departure. No, this is just over as they get dominated. There's only 24 kills in this 24-minute game, but there is a 15,000 gold lead for MVP as well, the proactive team seems to be having the edge in this new patch.
Unbelievable performance coming out from MVP, showing why they're going to be one of the top teams in this qualifier. And I would have to believe that with that win, this probably easily secures one of their spots in this qualifier. And man, their aggressive style might be something that most of these C teams are just not familiar with.
You know who this looks like? You know who MVP looks like? This is a very lofty remark, and it's a little bit off, but you know who this team reminds me of?
What?
Na'Vi.
Really?
The way they're pushing, the way they're going straight at their towers. Their picks are obviously very different than what Na'Vi used to play, but Na'Vi's mono used to be, go to your tower, we push your tower, we kill you under your tower, then we kill your tower, and then we win. And that's exactly what MVP have been doing. They're not really pick and pushing. They're just balling up and killing people, which is something that Na'Vi used to do a lot, and it was really effective. It was when Na'Vi was the most dominant in their playing time, so I'm not really sure if any team's going to be able to deal with that in the Southeast Asian games, and congrats to MVP as they moved to 6-2.
Yeah.
Only one win behind Arrow.
Yeah. And it's funny because Arrowhead crushed them when they played, so we'll see if they come back with kind of a game changer for themselves. I can't help but give props. I mean, there was no one on their team that didn't do their part. I mean, Templar had a bit of a rough time in the mid lane, but I felt like any fight where it looked like First Departure was going to get something going for themselves, maybe they're like working all together, like, yes, we're going to get a tower. You look on the other side of the map, and Death Prophet is just taking everything else away from them. It's ridiculous. They're constantly getting something going for themselves. They're not like sitting back, second guessing, oh, are we going to defend or not? They're like, we're going to be proactive and we're going to make shit happen. Whether it's get something going on the opposite side of the map or just get a good solid team fight going.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm worried about for MVP is this is a fairly punishable lineup in terms of weaker lanes. So they do need to watch out for that. That's something that they need to be careful of. Also, you ban out a couple of these heroes, this strategy is not nearly as good. So they could just possibly lose in the draft stage. But so far, great performance from them. And, well, we've only got one more game scheduled if there are no tiebreakers, which it looked like there will probably be some, to be honest.
Yeah, these mid-tier teams are all very close.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that are 4-3 or 3-4. Very, very close. Could work out that we don't have any. But right now, there's only one scheduled game left. We're going to be following MVP again. They're going to be going up against Mineski.
Oh, that's going to be a great game.
This is going to be a great game.
That's going to be a real great game.
Really looking forward to this one, and it's going to be myself with Mott. But this is Coddle Guy. Follow him at Coddle Guy.
God damn it.
This one over here. And follow me on What Is Hip at What Is Hip TV on Twitter. And also, guys, follow this channel if you like our casting. It really it means a lot if you can follow it. We love hearing from you in chat. We love hearing from you on Twitter. And you know, we're community casters. I guess we're still community casters.
Yeah, I mean, we
love you guys.
We don't have a fancy studio, you know, or anything like that, but we're looking to build up. You know, it's really, really nice, and we're working right now in the luxurious Zyori bedroom, where I'm sure lots of magic happens.
Or something.
Or peanut butter.
I mean, it's just peanut butter sitting on his bed. So
that's the magic I'm talking about. I mean, maybe you shouldn't have touched that, but whatever.
But we'll see how things progress here. But don't go anywhere. It's going to be about 30 minutes till the next game. And we'll see you then. Take care.